The next test is very similar to the last two tests. We will locate paid invoices for records entered by unauthorized personnel. We will achieve this by relating the invoices paid table to the enter code table, identifying invoices with invalid enter codes. We will review the results of the unmatched query, and then summarize the invoice amounts and count the number of invoice records in question. This test, like the last test, uses an unmatched query and a summary query. An addition that we will be adding here is to count up the number of records by year. Back in the Access Query window, we will select New and begin a new query. From the New Query selection box, we will choose to use a wizard to help us find unmatched entered codes. We will select the Invoices Paid table in the first box and the Enter Code table in the second box. We want to relate these two tables on the Enter field. We select the similar field in each table box and press the equals button. In the next dialog box, we will select all fields for a query by clicking on the double arrow button. In the final dialog box, the query name, Invoices Paid Without Matching Enter Code, is given. We will keep this name. The query results displays numerous records that were entered by unauthorized personnel. Let's summarize the activity of these enter records. To summarize the activity, we will run a summary query on the query that we just designed. The Simple Query Wizard will help us design the summary query. We close the query results table to begin the second query. In the query window again, we select New, and this time select the Simple Query Wizard. We will want to use the last query we created. We will make sure that the invoice paid without matching enter code is selected. For field choices, we will select only the enter, the invoice amount, and the invoices paid fields. With the invoice date field selected, we can group the number of records by a date range. We can select these fields by double-clicking on each field. In the next dialog box, we will select the option to view summary records. We had seen all detailed records in our previous query. This time we want to sum the invoice amounts. The wizard can help us with this calculation by selecting the Summary Options button and choosing the Sum selection for invoice amounts. We'll click the Sum field, and we will also click the Count box to tell the wizard to count for us the number of records for each enter. When we are finished, we click OK. In the next box, because we selected the field Invoice Date, a date field, Access allows us to group our records by a date range. We will select Year to count up the number of records per enter by year. In this last dialog box, we will change the name of the query to Summary of Matching Enter Code Query. When we click the Finish button, Access displays the summed records. The results show us that for the two enter codes, there were numerous paid invoice records for both the years 2002, and 2003.